South Dakota Senator, member of the Senate Armed Services Committee and member of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, Senator Mike Rounds joins me. Good evening, sir. And often in the media, we pick apart what people say, and we sort of say so-and-so said such and such. But this is actually a very important point. And so the question really is what did the Director of National Intelligence, when she testified before your committee, did she say that Iran was near a bomb or has a program or not? Are we taking it out of context or not?
First of all, President Trump is correct in his assessment of where we're at today. The intelligence community has indicated that they are not actually building the bomb, but they are getting everything ready so they could do it very rapidly. In other words, we're within weeks of where they could actually have a weapon. Whether or not they could deliver it or not is yet to be determined, because you'd still have to either mount it on something or you'd have to transport it somehow to get it to where you'd want it to actually go off. But the president is correct in that it is at that point that if you don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, now is the time that you're going to have to act. That's the reason why Israel decided at this point they couldn't wait any longer. They've been planning, they've been laying out the groundwork literally for years, just in case it came to this. And the bottom line is Iran has been lying to the world for years about what they've been up to. They have been getting the enrichment just up to the point, but not at the point of having the nuclear capability. But they literally could get there in a matter of weeks. So the president is absolutely correct that it is coming down to that. But what the Director of National Intelligence shared at that time was accurate in that they do not have a weapon, but they are getting closer all the time. So, yeah, I know we're parsing words here a little bit, but as of right now
actually,
today,
I hate the parsing the words too, and ordinarily I would let this one slide. But whether they are near a bomb or not near a bomb is a really important point. I mean, we've got the Director of National Intelligence who, and to everybody in the intelligence community, answers to, and you've got the President of the United States slightly at odds with each other. And now, I mean, and now you tell me that, and I believe you, but now you're telling me that Iran is within weeks. I guess that would be like August 15th, maybe, that they could if someone didn't stop them. I think Israel is going to stop them. But then, and I assume that you rely on intelligence, but there is a part of me that questions the intelligence when there have been so many intelligence failures in the past 20 years that I'm never certain what I should believe.
look, we have very good intelligence. And I can just share with you, Iran has been lying to the world for years. They have been enriching uranium. They've been enriching it above what they need for civil purposes. And most certainly the only reason why they would do it is literally because they want a nuclear weapon. And you cannot allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. End of story. And so President Trump is weighing it. I agree with his assessment that he's going to take some time and make a determination. He's laid out the time frame. He did not say that he would wait 2 weeks. He said he would make a decision within 2 weeks. It's really important. And he doesn't want to go to war. We don't want to go to war. But Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
And I agree that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. I agree Iran lies. I agree. I mean, when you have a country that goes around and says death to America, that's not a particularly good sign that this is a friend of ours and who isn't trying to hide things. I get that. I'm totally agreeing with you. But then we've got sort of these odd things in history. For instance, when Saddam Hussein claimed to have weapons of mass destruction, and he did that, oddly enough, I believe, when there was no weapons of mass destruction ever found, and our intelligence community got that one wrong. I think that he said that as a way to scare off Iran, who actually had used a weapon of mass destruction in the 1980s against Iraq. So it's like, it's easy to be sort of confused by, about who's on first.
Well, let me just correct one item, or at least clarify one item. Saddam Hussein did have chemical weapons. He used them on the Kurds. He used them on his own people. We know that. What happened to them, whether he used them all up or whether or not the scientists that he had expected to create more were scared to death of not telling them that they didn't have the resources to get more, I can't tell you that. But coming back in and facing what we've got right now in Iran, they cannot have a nuclear weapon. They are very close to the point where they could create a nuclear weapon should the Ayatollah give directions to actually take the final step. Once they have a bomb, one way or another, they would still have to find a way to deliver it, whether they smuggle it in or try to attach it to something. But the weapon itself, they could probably get done in a very short period of time.
You know, I don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. Even Putin doesn't want them to have a nuclear weapon. And I actually fear more a lethal virus than I do in the immediate time, because I know they don't have a delivery system for a nuclear weapon. But this is what I don't get, is you've got countries like Saudi Arabia, which doesn't like Iran at all. And yet Saudi Arabia doesn't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon because they certainly don't like each other. Yet Saudi Arabia condemns Israel for going into Iran to eliminate the opportunity that Iran would have to have a nuclear weapon. So it's a lot of this stuff there's a lot of hypocrisy floating around this globe.
Appearances matter in the Middle East, and bottom line on it is Saudi Arabia, UAE, Oman, they don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, because if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, then they have to have a nuclear weapon. There's no question about that. And none of them want Iran to have that. They have been adversaries in the past. They are still adversaries. Iran most certainly wants one. Here's the problem on it. They truly believe that if they have a nuclear weapon, it means the survival of their regime. And that simply is...
And the elimination of Israel. And it's the elimination of Israel. I mean, that's you know...
But Iran also... Israel also, they are our ally, and we're going to stick with them. Israel had a plan when they walked in there. They don't do anything without a plan. They've been doing this for years. They have a path forward. They know they've got to take out the stuff in Iran as well at Fordo. I'd love to know what their plan is, but I think the president of the United States right now is in the right position, where he simply says we're not going to be doing anything until we know for sure, or at least we have more information to make a decision.
I have no doubt in my mind that Israel, when they went into Iran 8 days ago, knew exactly what they're going to do, and they knew they might have to go alone, and they knew they could accomplish it or they wouldn't do it. So I think Netanyahu will finish this job even with or without us. Senator Mike Rounds, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.